Well, hi everybody, welcome to today's episode of Girafficorn Reads Reddit. I'm going to start things off with one of my personal favorites, Am I the Asshole? Let's go ahead and dig into that. Okay, let's go ahead and start at the very top here. Am I the asshole for telling my sister not to walk my dog? Let's take a look. My sister M walks my dad's dog twice a week. I've just moved home since I returned to state from another state. She took my dog without asking and was gone for over 4 hours. Jeez. She said she took the dogs to a dog beach, which would have been fine for my dad's dog. He is well trained. My dog doesn't do well off the leash and could have kept running and never returned. I asked her not to walk my dog again unless asked. I take the dog out in the morning for 2 hours and again in the evening for another hour. We go to the dog park 3 times a week. She is being trained. M got upset and said she was just trying to be nice. I told her I wasn't mad. I just didn't know where my dog was. I don't want my dog off leash and that I was worried. My dad didn't know if the dog got out or if M took them until she finally texted back. You are not the asshole. Nothing about this says that you're the asshole here. Your sister took your dog. Just your dog was basically kidnapped for 4 hours, which you are not the asshole for wanting her to not do that again. She's a little, I get where she's coming from. She was just trying to help you, so I wouldn't be angry with her for that specifically, but you could be angry with her for not asking. So you're not the asshole. I don't think your sister's the asshole either. She should have asked, but it's really neither here nor there at this point. As long as she's agreeable to not do that again, you should be fine. All right. Ooh, this one should be good. Am I the asshole for wanting my neighbor to stop mowing my lawn? I don't know what that means, but let's dig into it. My neighbor has a particular way he thinks lawns should be mowed, and how frequently they should be mowed, and so on. Which is great for him. His lawn looks fantastic, and more power to him. I work to keep my lawn well cut and tidy, but I don't treat it as my pride and joy. I mow regularly, but I keep it a little longer than my neighbor. I don't go out of my way to make it look like an advertising photo for the neighborhood. Okay, my neighbor started out making some comments about how shaggy my lawn looked. Then he started telling me there's really no excuse for mower tracks that aren't a little more parallel. This guy's a dick. Your neighbor's a dick. Like, regardless of who's the asshole in the situation, your neighbor's kind of a dick. Okay. Let's see. Last year, he started a habit of cutting my lawn, even after I asked him not to. Okay, side note. Little conversation. Your neighbor's being completely inappropriate. It is not his job to mow your lawn. It is not his prerogative to mow your lawn. And if you tell him not to, he's not allowed to, period. End of conversation. I will continue to read, though. But no, he's not allowed to do that. He does it every time he cuts his own lawn, even if I cut my lawn the day before, or in one case earlier that day. I've asked him several times to stop, that I don't appreciate him coming on my lawn without permission. He tells me that it's not a problem. Not your call if it's a problem, bro. That he doesn't mind helping it look better. Who do you think you are? And it's not a big deal. He usually stops listening after that. I've mentioned this a few times to friends, and they look at me like I'm some sort of alien. No. They tell me that they'd love to have somebody mow their lawn for free and that I should count myself as lucky. Like I say, I keep my lawn neat and tidy, but I don't go out of my way to make it into some sort of showpiece. I admit that his lawn looks nicer, but it isn't like my lawn is some sort of eyesore. Am I the asshole for wanting him to stick to his own fucking yard? No. Absolutely not. You are not the asshole in this situation. The neighbor is, it's like I said a minute ago. The neighbor cannot take it upon himself to step over into your property and remove your grass. Let's just say that your mom had some emotional connection to the grass and then your mom passed away. And the neighbor keeps coming over and cutting the grass. It's ridiculous. But point being, it's not his grass. He does not have a right to cut it. You are not the asshole. I don't know what you need to do. Put your foot down. Tell the dude, get the HOA involved. Hopefully you have one, and say, my neighbor won't leave my lawn alone. He's crossing into my property. He's stepping on my plants. Whatever you want to say. Don't lie, but no, you're not the asshole for this situation. Let's see here. Am I the asshole for not liking it when people play music outside? Kind of already, but let's take a look. Well, I've asked a couple of questions here before, but I always like an outside and unbiased opinion. We bought a house in a quiet neighborhood last summer, and it's been great. We're fixing up the landscaping outside and having a good time when my neighbor pulls up across the alley and proceeds to leave his car on blaring music. It's been 2.5 hours now. The genre isn't an issue. It's that we can't talk without yelling. The birds all got scared away and frankly made it impossible to enjoy our yard. I find it inconsiderate, but I could very well be the inconsiderate. That's where you all come in. Is it wrong or asshole-ish to ask our neighbor to keep his music down at least a little so we can enjoy our space too? I'd prefer if he just shut it off completely, but that really would make me the asshole if I asked him to do that, I think. Okay, so your HOA, assuming you have one, your city actually probably has ordinances that would prevent sound disturbance, or there's disturbing the peace. That's what I'm looking for. We have an ordinance in my HOA, in my city particularly, where if there is sound that's disturbing the peace before like 7 a.m. and after like 9 p.m., then it's no-go. And that's reportable, and that's complainable, and that's totally fine, and you're not the asshole for doing that. In this case, if it's the middle of the day, sorry, bro, yeah, there's probably nothing you can do. Now, are you the asshole for wanting him to turn it off? No. That's completely reasonable. If you want to go sit and enjoy your yard, or sit in the front and or back or something like that, and there's just ridiculously loud music playing, you're not the asshole for wanting that to not be there. Depending on how you approach it with your neighbor, you might become an asshole if you approach it with him the wrong way. But as you've explained it so far, you're not an asshole for wanting it to be gone. You probably can't do anything about it other than hope that he's cordial and will receive your feedback, kindly. But as far as an actual issue or something like that, I don't think there's anything you could do. I mean, look into it, pursue it, see if your HOA or city has any more information on disturbing the peace. You're not the asshole for wanting it, for not liking it when people play. No, you're not an asshole for not liking it. No, you're good. I'll do one or two more, and then I'll switch over to the another subreddit here. Am I the asshole for refusing when my personal trainer brought a second person in to train with us without offering a discount? This should be good. Okay. So I've been seeing a personal trainer twice a week for about a year, and slowly but surely her professionalism has dwindled. That's unfortunate. This past week, I arrived for my session to find out she had invited another client to train with us. Yet I was still expected to pay full price for the session. Not only that, when I refused to participate in the session with a second person, she charged me full price as a no-show. Am I the asshole for refusing to participate? No! Your personal trainer is an asshole. No! Let me back myself up a little bit. Depending on the arrangement you made originally with your personal trainer, you may or may not be the asshole. If the expectation and the signed thing, whatever you signed with your personal trainer, says that it'll be a one-on-one interaction, just you and the trainer, then you're good to go. You're not an asshole. She would be the asshole in that case for allowing another person to benefit from that. If she's probably just trying to capitalize on her time a little bit better. It's like teaching a class of students instead of tutoring an individual person. So I get the concept of what your trainer's trying to do, but expecting the full price of an individual when the expectation was that it was going to be a one-on-one interaction, she's an asshole for doing that. Now, I don't think that you should be required to participate in a class where there is another person when you had an expectation reasonably of a one-on-one interaction. Again, I would kind of have to fall back on your expectation that you set with your personal trainer. If your personal trainer never had that expectation, then you might be a little picky for feeling the way that you feel. But if it was specifically a one-on-one thing, you're not an asshole for not wanting to go again, or for going back. Let's see. Ooh, am I the asshole for wanting to cut off contact with my best friend? Let's see. Okay, to begin, me and Alex have been friends for about 6 years now. We would talk to each other about everything. He had my back and I had his. Last year, his mama was diagnosed with cancer and I was the only friend he could rely on. He would message me that he's struggling and I'd be on the next train to see him. For 2 months, I spent so much time and effort always being there for him. In December 2017, his mama died. That sucks. I'm so sorry. It was a beautiful service, and we spent the rest of the night with other friends drinking wine and reminiscing old times. Well, that sounds nice. We all came to terms with her death by that point, as it was a terminal diagnosis. I must also add that 3 months into the diagnosis, his girlfriend broke up with him because she wanted to sleep with other people. That does suck a lot. So he was even more clingy, but I understood. His mom had cancer, and his childhood sweetheart broke up with him for other guys. After the funeral, I made extra effort to show him that he's not alone. He would go out and do fun things, just like old times, and despite everything that had happened, he looked like he was enjoying himself. The fun stopped when his ex decided that she no longer wanted to sleep around, and she missed Alex. She sounds like a terrible human being. They sorted out their differences and got back together. Why? Your buddy Alex sounds like an idiot. Whatever. Since then, I have been ditched. He forgot my birthday and instead went out on a date with his girlfriend. That you need to get over. Dude's got a girlfriend. He gets to go with his girlfriend on your birthday. I'm not sure how old you are, but that stops mattering real quick when you get a little older. I thought he was still feeling depressed over the recent death, so I gave him time and didn't press on. Don't know what that means in this context. I'd message him every other day to see how he was, but he made it sound like he was busy with college work. He very well may have been, but I'd see on Snapchat that he was either going to the cinema, bowling, or going on dates with his sweetheart, so that kind of hurt. I was annoyed at him. I eventually stopped messaging as much because I could see he wasn't interested in talking to me anymore. A few months go by and he's not messaged me either. I miss my best friend, but he's lied about being busy. He's been a bit of a shit friend. I'd rather he would straight up tell me he didn't want to hang out. Since Alex got back with Emily, I'm going to highlight this for later because I might want that. He's not bothered with me at all. He doesn't want to talk or hang out. So I messaged him today, seeing how he's been. Again, he's been out loads this week doing fun, casual things, but he tells me he's been busy with college. Again, he sounds kind of like he's kind of a jerk. He's telling me he didn't even have 2 minutes just to message me before. I don't believe it. So now he's apologizing, but it's not real apologies, including I'm sorry, but, etc., blah, blah, blah. He doesn't understand that I've been there for him whenever, wherever he needed me, and I let it slide that he forgot my birthday. Good. Again, you don't care about that, or shouldn't care about that. But now it's getting a bit silly. He's canceled plans with me a few times because his girlfriend doesn't like me. I'm tired of only being talked to when it's convenient for him. When it's convenient for him. Am I the asshole? This is a little bit complicated. The simple answer is, it's a no, but. No, you're not the asshole for being tired of being on the receiving end of an exchange consistently. If he's never reaching out to you, if he's not establishing any type of actual friendship with you and just putting no effort into the relationship or anything like that, no, you're not the asshole for being hurt by that, or for being quiet of only being talked to when it's convenient for him. But the big but in this, in this exchange, is that he has a girlfriend. The thing about girlfriends, and what's frustrating, I'm relatively young, but the thing about girlfriends or significant others is that person kind of should matter the most. Because a girlfriend could very easily become a fiance, could become a wife. And if you have a wife, your wife needs to matter the most. Within reason. If she's ridiculous, then that's a whole different story. But if your wife has reasonable requests and reasonable wants and wants your time and wants your attention, Alex, you be reasonable about this, but you, poster, are not necessarily the asshole, but also recognize that you are now number 2, at best, in his life. If he has a girlfriend that's number 1 for him, then that's where it's going to be. And unfortunately, there's probably nothing you can do about that. Feeling bad and complaining about that, and not that this was complaining, but making a big stink over it, might make you an asshole. Feeling the way you feel does not make you an asshole. That doesn't qualify for you for assholery. You're fine there. But depending on how you approach it with Alex, that might make you an asshole. If you say, hey, dude, what's up? Like, why aren't you interacting with me? You're always out with your girlfriend now. That would make you an asshole. Like, the thing that's tricky is that people change. Relationships change, friendships change. After high school, basically all of my friends have either drifted away and moved to other states, or we've just kind of lost contact. I still maybe have semi-regular contact with like 3 people. And that's pretty much it. So I feel like that's pretty normal. I don't know that I'm irregular there. But anyway, coming back up, I highlighted a section. He's been a bit of a shit friend. I'd rather he would straight up tell me he didn't want to hang out. You can't set that expectation for him. If he doesn't know how you feel about it, then setting that expectation that I'd rather he would straight up tell me he didn't want to hang out. If you set that expectation for your friendship with him, he's never going to be able to live up to that, because that's a weird thing to do. That's a weird thing to say, hey man, listen, I don't want to hang out. That's a weird thing to do. Nobody's going to do that. Having that expectation for him to say that is, in my opinion, unreasonable. If it's dead, it's dead. If it's dead, let it die. If he reaches out and you guys hang out, then cool. And if you reach out and he doesn't, then that sucks. But don't expect him to tell you up front that he doesn't want to hang out with you anymore. That's just an unreasonable expectation. He's not going to do it. It's weird of you to expect it. It's only going to continue to cause pain for you if that's a thing that you're expecting him to give you. That's closure you're looking for from him, and he's not going to be the one to close it. You're the one who's hurt, and frankly, you need to be the one who moves on, if that's the case. So, sorry, that sucks. Like, I understand how much that sucks. It's a situation that, unfortunately, people have to deal with sometimes. So, to answer your original question, am I the asshole for wanting to cut off contact with my best friend? It sounds like you already have. It's been months since you guys have talked regularly, and cut off contact at this point seems more like you're not going to try anymore, rather than stopping a friendship. It sounded like you were going to stop a friendship, but the friendship has kind of already died. Let it die. That's just my opinion. All right, speaking of opinions, let's pop over to unpopular opinion. Switching subreddits here. There we go. The world is mostly stupid because stupid people have more kids than smart people. I believe in Darwinism, so yeah. Okay, let's look at it. If it would load, there we go. Okay, uneducated people breed like a dog. Where's my grammar button? There we go. Uneducated people breed like a dog starting as early as 16, while educated people have 1 or 2 kids at most, if even, and usually wait until much later in life. This results in a world that is full of genetically inferior, stupid people raised by uneducated parents, instilling their uneducated views, who have majority say in how the world is run, voting for president, senate, etc. All right, there's a fundamental flaw in your argument. Generally speaking, I don't disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with the notion that you're imposing. But the way you did it is totally wrong. Suggesting that there's a direct correlation between an intelligent person and the number of children an intelligent person wants to have is a completely different thing. There are brilliant, brilliant people who love kids. Let's phrase it this way. If you were to rewrite this question, you could write it, people who love kids are stupid. And people who want lots of kids are stupid. Smart people don't want lots of kids. That's what you're basically saying, and that's fundamentally flawed. There are brilliant people with, like, 1 million kids. Like, that's not fair of you in any way to say that those things correlate directly in the way that you suggested they did. Now, like I said a minute ago, I generally agree with you. Darwinism tends to show its head all over the place. Like, it's smart people generally breed smart children. Generally, there are idiots that come from geniuses, and there are geniuses that come from idiots. Like, there's no actual correlation there. At least not. I'd be curious to see if there was an actual correlation there. But the way that you approached this, I think you're linking things together that are not as directly linked as you might think they are. Now, I recognize this is the unpopular opinion subreddit, so there's going to be some unpopular opinions. But yeah, I think the way you've presented your argument is a little bit less based in actual and a little bit more based in the fact that you don't like kids or something, maybe? I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. The male body standard is higher than females. What is your case here, dude? You always hear females complain about how society has ridiculous body expectations for them. The honest truth is that men just want females who aren't overweight. And if they squat, that's a benefit, not a deal breaker, but a benefit. I don't squat, like physically squat up and down, maybe? Or squat like sit and wait? I don't know. Females who have a little tummy are not scorned by anyone, and in fact, that's also a huge preference for males, chubbyish women. So calling it a huge preference is a little much. There are some who certainly prefer that, but calling it a huge preference, the way you've just said, I don't think that's quite true. Also, men have been preaching forever about how women look better without makeup, but they say they wear makeup for themselves, so fine. I generally agree with that. There's a difference. You know, I'll get to the rest of it in a second, but I'm going to put a little marker for myself. When a man says a woman looks prettier without makeup, he's referring to that person's beauty. For instance, I think that my wife is absolutely gorgeous, no matter how she looks, because her physical appearance is only one aspect of how beautiful she is to me. And so while she does look gorgeous to me at all times, it's very evident that she's prettier when she's wearing makeup. When she does herself up, well, yeah, she's prettier. That's not like a weird thing to feel. That's not unreasonable. What, you think your wife is better with makeup? Well, yeah. Makeup makes people look good. It's like, do I think the advertisement for a cheeseburger looks better than the cheeseburger itself? Well, yeah. I love the cheeseburger. I'm going to eat the cheeseburger. It's fantastic. But yeah, the advertisement looks better. A woman with makeup looks better. If she does it poorly, then that's a different question, or that's a different story. But the way you just said this is a little not quite right. About how women look better without makeup. They look good without makeup. They do look better with makeup. That's my take there. Anyway, now on the other hand, men. Take a look at the Instagram page called Jaw. I can tell you right now that a third of my female followers follow that page. How can you tell me that right now? I'd be probably making that up. And 1.4 million other people follow as well. That's probably true. Look at how the boys and men are objectified by girls and women. Okay. We need jawlines, be at least 5'10" in height, long silky hair, brown eyes, abs, delts, traps, pecs. First of all, people prefer blue eyes probably. I've seen the statistics for that. Delts, traps, pecs, whatever the V-line muscle is called. I think the obliques help form that one down by the lower abdomen area. Another one you're talking about. Veiny forearms, etc. The list goes on. Won't even start on wallet size. Money. Got it. Or how we're supposed to surprise our girlfriends at 10 p.m. with McDonald's and a teddy bears because she's feeling sick. What the fuck? This is actually the generation I have to grow up in. Talk about unrealistic expectations. And the girls I see liking this BS is my age 19 plus. Okay, weird way to say that sentence. So anyways, yeah, it's actually not easy to be a male millennial and deal with relationships because of all the brainwashing these idiotic pages have done. And even though it might look like all we care about is Fortnite, sports, and jerking off, we have feelings too. Old-fashioned smiley face. I also prefer the old-fashioned smiley face. I'm a fan of the way you ended that. But okay, let's dig into this a little bit. So you listed off here what I'm assuming were pulled from the comment section of the Jaw Instagram page. So these things, these are common things for a woman to want in a man. They are. I've seen the lists. I've seen the things. I am a man. I've talked to women. Those are things that are reasonable expectations, or those not expectations, but those are the things that a woman might find attractive in a man. But it's very, very easy to make the exact same list for women with different qualities. I'll make it up right now. We need a thin neck, boobs at least a B or C. Thin, small waist, big butt, big eyes, great eyelashes. Those are the word. That's the one I'm looking for. Great hair, good makeup. Hold down her alcohol. Likes to go crazy, but not too much. Like we could. I mean, it's me making it up, but we could make up that list for women super, super easily. So, suggesting that this doesn't happen for women is wrong. It's not an unpopular opinion. It's simply incorrect. There is, I'm positive, I don't even have an Instagram, but there is a page for looking at the beautiful women. There's probably about 100 times the pages on Instagram for looking at good-looking girls versus good-looking guys. Again, it's not an unpopular opinion in my opinion. It's a wrong opinion in my opinion. I just don't think that you're assessing that correctly. That's just me. Let's dig into one more. Jake and Logan Paul are ugly as shit. Yeah, I don't even need to read that. Yeah, they're ugly. They're not attractive individuals. For some reason, Logan Paul's getting... Jake Paul is weird looking. Jake Paul is super, super weird looking. Logan Paul, a little bit less unattractive. Not a particularly attractive individual, but I can see it. Like, I get what they mean. His little flyaway hairstyle thing that he has, though, is really dumb. But he's a brandable individual because he has a weird look. So, Logan Paul... ugly, but all right. I get what they mean. Jake Paul has always been super weird looking to me, so I don't even have to read that. I know what you mean. Hashtag all men are trash is hate speech and should be treated as such. Yeah. This goes to the weird double standard of the genders thing. I'll look at this for a second. I truly believe that this classification of all men are trash by some third wave and fourth wave feminists. What does that even mean? I'll need to look into what this means. Third wave and fourth wave feminists. Like the first wave of feminists was like in the 60s or something? I don't know. Is super cancerous and must be treated as hate speech that should be condemned and banned on all platforms. Pause on this conversation really quickly. Condemned, sure, you're allowed to hate something. Tell people not to do it, that's fine. Banned on all platforms? Absolutely not. There's a reason social media exists. We don't ban anything. I mean, we'll ban... Okay, crap, I took a class on something. that it was kind of like a 101 intro to communications and media class. And there are only a handful of things that are called patently offensive. That's the one. There's a term of things that are patently offensive. And things that are patently offensive is only actually a very small list. And includes like child pornography and bestiality. And there's a couple of other things that could be considered patently offensive and will not be allowed anywhere. If you do it, it's illegal. Like, it's not allowed to be posted anywhere. It's not allowed to be consumed without it being illegal content. Or something to that effect. I'm not sure exactly the list, and that might be extra things in there. But point being, it's actually not that big of a list. Now, you don't like hashtag all men are trash. You don't like it when people say that all men are trash. I don't like it either. That's a terrible thing to say. It's not correct. It's not even a little bit true. But for you to say that it should be banned on all platforms, no. You're wrong. No, people are allowed to feel that way. They're dicks if they feel that way. They're terrible people who express that opinion, but they're allowed to have that opinion. They're allowed to express it too. You don't have to like it. It sucks if you come across it, but no, it should not be banned on all platforms because you don't like it. Okay, moving on. Many men work super oppressive and dangerous jobs. Oppressive jobs. Curious what you mean by oppressive jobs. I don't know of a job that's oppressive by nature except for like stripping, which is a whole other story. And dangerous jobs in the world, such as cleaning a gutter, being a lineman, etc. These men are in need of help way more than these idiotic feminists that are born in upper middle class families and are probably having other women do their pedicure or manicure or some shit while they tweet on Twitter, all men are trash. You sound like a really fun person to have at a party. That's just an awful way of saying that. You're generalizing so many things. You're kind of a dick about this at all, honestly. What you're suggesting is that it's not possible to be a feminist unless you're born in the upper middle class and have other women do their pedicures while complaining on Twitter. That's what you basically suggested, is that you must be an upper middle class woman to be a feminist. Otherwise, you wouldn't join the feminist movement. And you're wrong. You're kind of a dick for thinking that way. If you didn't know that, there are lower class women who are feminists. There are like senators who are feminists. It's possible to feel the feminist movement without being born in the upper middle class the way you've just described it. You're kind of a dick for saying that. Like FFS, don't know what that is, there needs to be a line drawn somewhere, and these women can in no way be given a special license to be a bigot and openly hate an entire gender for the deeds of a few miscreants. You don't have the right to give licenses out because the licenses don't exist. You don't have the right to revoke a license that isn't real. Anybody, at any time, can be a bigot and openly hate whomever they want, whenever they want. It's something called the First Amendment, my friend. If you're unfamiliar, look into it. You don't have to like what people say, but you can't stop them from saying it either. And if you think you can, you're a dick. So, no. Edit. Evidently this was said after some comments had come in, which I intentionally remove here. In an ideal world, this wouldn't be an unpopular opinion. No, you're still a dick. This is a very unpopular opinion. You don't get to condemn other people's... No, let me rephrase that. You don't get to tell other people their speech deserves to be banned because it's unfavorable. I agree that it's unfavorable. I'm with you on this one. That's an absolutely horrible thing to say. It's a terrible thing to feel. It's not true. But you also can't ban people from saying it because you don't like it. Get over it. Sorry. Classifying an entire gender that constitute approximately 50% of the world's population as trash should automatically classify all men are trash as hate speech and a sexist statement. But that is hate speech and a sexist statement. Nobody's arguing with you there. The thing is, hate speech and sexist statements are allowed. But I have personally seen feminists making such statements receiving little or no rebuttal. Well, then you have some people who have an issue with the spine. In fact, every time I tried to point out how this statement is problematic, I was just told that if you don't understand it, then you're part of the problem. They sound like dicks too. Like whatever that means. Hence posting it here. Okay. You're a dick for classifying the feminist movement in the way that you've done. That's really, really short-sighted of you to do that. Now, I'm not a feminist. I really don't feel the giant need to push for all this stuff. I'm like, you know what? Equality, let's get it. That's fine. Most laws actually already are equal. I don't know of a single law right now that is sexist. I'm just saying. So there's definitely work to be done. There's stuff that needs to happen. There's reason for the movement. But feminists or anyone or me or you are allowed to say hateful things. You're allowed to. Now, to say that you're not allowed to is fundamentally against what should be allowed. You should be allowed to imagine that I decided that I don't like your post. I don't like the thing you just said. That should be banned. You shouldn't be allowed to complain about feminists this way. Can you imagine if that were true? Like, how psycho would that be if that wasn't something that was allowed? You just get to say whatever you want, but I get to tell you that you have to take it down. No, you don't have the right to say that. That's not an unpopular opinion. Again, that's something that you just can't take away. I don't know where you are, but in America, in the United States specifically, we have the Bill of Rights, and the first article in the Bill of Rights is the First Amendment, freedom of speech. We very deliberately, very intentionally don't stop people from saying things, especially when they're controversial. If everybody agreed, we wouldn't have a problem. It's when the controversial statements are made that things happen, that things matter. And you don't have a right to take that away. Okay, I'll do one or two more. Ooh, you owe your family absolute. Before I get to that, E.T. is not cute or endearing. He's absolutely terrifying. I agree. He's not cute. People had an obsession. They've got plush dolls. He's a weird, fugly little thing. He's not good looking. Elvis is overrated. Seriously, Elvis is just a fat vanilla ice with mediocre music. Consider the fact that you were born in a newer day, and then in the 50s when Elvis was a big deal, a hip gyration on stage was like, it would be, whatever. It was a big deal. And he was a big deal. And he changed the genre, and he introduced a whole bunch of stuff, and people loved him, and he was a big deal then. Nowadays, not so much. To say he's overrated now, I kind of agree. He kind of is overrated now, but then again, I don't really know that anybody ever talks about him. We don't really have to endure Elvis culture right now in our day, so this post is where to begin with. And your username is poopdz, whatever. Okay, last one. You owe your family absolutely nothing. I originally agreed, but let's take a look. I've been reading a lot of Reddit posts lately that have been all about really shitty parents and families, and I thought I'd mention something that just really clicked for me a few years ago, and I was struggling with something similar. You owe your family nothing. You owe your parents nothing. If you are a young person who feels trapped by their shitty parents, you owe them nothing despite what they will tell you. You might feel guilty about walking out the door someday and never coming back, but let me tell you something. Avoiding that guilt is not a good enough reason to stay. Yes, I understand that there are 1,000 reasons why someone might not be able to abandon their family, but maybe understanding that you are not in their debt will help them feel better. I agree with you. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. The word owe is the crux for me in this conversation. Saying that you owe your family nothing. You don't owe them anything. You're not indebted to them unless you literally are indebted to them. But to suggest that you're indebted to your parents because you're alive, or because they kept you alive, or because they raised you, that's a dick move on their part. For you to say that you owe your family absolutely nothing, I agree. Now, generally speaking, families are pretty much okay. Oh, generally, there are going to be cases where there are asshole parents and where there are terrible siblings, and they are manipulative and stupid and make things terrible for you. And in those cases, you don't owe them anything. Let me put it to you this way. You don't owe them anything no matter what. I agree with you there. But generally, if you're a good person and they're good people, you generally want to do things to help each other. Your family. You should want to help each other. You should be there for each other and do things. But to say you owe them something, that's weird. I would never use that word. Like, I would never say that I owe my mom attention, or I owe her phone calls. I owe her coming to dinner. I would never say that. That's weird. That implies debt. And you said right here in the bottom, you say it, that you're not in their debt. And that's the right way to say it. The word owe is transactional. It implies that at some point you'll be paid off. And there are moms. I've seen opinions of moms who are absolute horrible people who will use the fact that you're still alive as a reason for you to be indebted to them. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. Shut up. Who do you think you are? No. I've said all I can say there. That's how I feel about that. Okay, cool. Well, that was it. That was fun. That was all we needed there. So I think we're all set. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed anything, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the little bell for notifications there, and then check out the subreddit at r/Girafficorn there. Shoot me some posts here. Let me know if you want me to pull up anything on the show. This is the first show, so there's nothing for me to pull up in the subreddit right now. But go ahead and hop over there on Reddit and take a look for me. Type something out, send me a GIF, ask me a question, want some feedback, ask me, am I the asshole? Ask me, give me an unpopular opinion, give me a popular opinion, give me whatever you want to send me. So, cool. That'll do it, folks. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. It's signing off on Saturday. See ya.